Welcome in Monday morning edition. Blue Sky live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We'll put a bow on Ole Miss and Oklahoma. The Rebels 26-14 winners over the Sooners. We'll look at lines for this week, including the Rebels heading to Fayetteville, Arkansas to battle Arkansas. 11 o'clock a.m. in the morning for that one on Saturday.
Thank God AM, not PM. Holy shit.
11 p.m. would throw you off, Neal.
I couldn't do it.
I
couldn't do it.
Just give it time. Don't rule out anything like that in the future as we keep going here with this TV situation. So we got that.
I could not cover an 11 p.m. game.
Couldn't stay awake for that one.
That would be.
He's probably done it in Hoover at some point.
Probably a long time ago.
2:30 a.m., 3 a.m. finishes.
Yeah. I mean,
2008, Michael Guerrero hit that home run against Kentucky at somewhere around 2:30 in the morning.
I didn't get to my hotel room in Hammond until 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
About 2:15.
That's true. Yeah. Ole Miss winning an exhibition, kind of dominating Illinois yesterday at the Pavilion, and the first look at the basketball Rebels. One of those where they probably needed that one to count. They look real good. So we'll get into that a little bit here on the show.
Well,
also, yeah.
And you said this on Saturday afternoon, and I thought about it on Sunday.
What are we talking about?
It does kind of suck. Not from a win-loss standpoint, because in basketball you can lose some games. It's okay. It does kind of suck that games like that one and the one between Kansas and Arkansas and some of these other games don't, quote, count.
Yeah.
Because
they're fun.
Well, I mean, we're going to get into it in a minute because I think you and I have a similar – I don't even know if it's a hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take.
I don't think it's that hot of a take. But, yeah, no, it was – and then I have a basketball coach take that I'm now willing to go on the record with. Okay. I'm willing to do this publicly.
Okay.
I don't care anymore.
All right.
It's, you know what? I have so much evidence now that I'm ready to go, yes, let's take this to trial.
Okay. We'll get into that also here today. Blue Sky, so all over the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well, including their new one they got up in Amory just 10 days or so ago after rebuilding following the tornado. So, again, lunch specials, Sweet Daddy's locations all over the state, ribs, pulled pork, side items, desserts, and plenty more of those lunch specials. $5.69. You pick your sides. You get any size fountain drink with those, including here locally at the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. 662-257-1900. Guests will join throughout the week on the Campbell Clinic hotline, from fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
So I guess one thing quickly, and I don't want to give out anybody's personal information, but I know a lot of people have asked because especially the way TV sort of showed it and everything, but Curry Luber appears to be doing okay. A collision is what caused it. Players blindsided them on the sidelines. I know Lane answered it, but I didn't hear anything else beyond kind of what exactly happened. And no, there were some effects there, but seems to be doing okay. So just as again this morning, I'm definitely not giving out personal information to the best of my ability, but that is that's where that stands for those people.
But it wasn't. There were some people that were worried it was like a heart episode. It was or something. Not. And it was not. It was. No.
It was from the trauma of getting hit.
He wasn't wearing pads.
He was not, and they are bigger than him. So
and a little younger than him.
Yeah,
that's what he gets for not wearing pads. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's
yes.
a joke.
Yes.
I'm glad that Curry's okay.
Yeah. So has had ailments from that, but appears to be going to be okay as it moves on.
If you've never stood on the sidelines,
they're fast guys. They're big,
and it kind of and they close ground quickly. Mm-hmm. It's like the biggest difference between like if you're on a high school field, they don't close the ground as quickly, and then on a college field they close the ground quickly. And if you ever get on the sideline for an NFL game, my God, put your head on a swivel.
And like,
I'm totally serious.
Yeah,
it's like train wrecks.
I don't know if because you're in the stands and you're far away from it. I don't know if you appreciate just how fast those guys are moving. Because I was reading a story, and I know they're bad at times. They miss calls, but the difficulty for officials simply to see everything at the NFL level as humans, to watch and keep up with the game speed.
Yeah.
It's playing the video game on Ultra Madden mode. I mean, they're just moving so fast.
Yes.
That you hear from people who are SEC officials, then move up to the NFL, and it's not even the same game on trying to keep up with it. So,
I mean, I've told you a story before. I'll be very fast because it's been repetitive, but I covered Florida, Georgia on a Saturday afternoon, and remember being down on the field for most of the fourth quarter. And then the next day I covered Saints Bucks in Tampa. And that's one of the few NFL stadiums where they let you go down on the field at the end. And so I was down there the last 6-7 minutes of a one-score game. Wow. I mean, wow. It still resonates with me today. Just collisions. I was like, I don't know how these people walk the next day.
You guys all, I'm moving on to Ole Miss. We actually have a lot of topics today, so I'm gonna move on. But, and I know Tuesdays to Wednesdays, kind of Wednesdays become our NFL day, the way the schedule is moved. But you guys all have the reporters that annoy you at the college level as fans. The one that annoys me at the NFL level is Jeff Duncan, because he is so Pollyanna and positive and trying to find the good in everything. And there is no good in the Saints right now. No. They suck in every way. Yesterday, I'm minding my own business. They've lost. I'm sort of emotionally disengaged from this team. I asked Twitter if I could do the EPL loan thing and just take on the Commanders for a little while until the Saints fire everybody, if that was allowed from a fan base perspective. Because I like Jaden Daniels. I like watching him play. So let's do that for a little bit. And Duncan comes out yesterday, 7:35 last night. We're all just minding our own business, watching the NFL or the NBA or whatever it is you're doing. History is working against the Saints. Since the NFL merger in 1970, only 3 teams have started 2-6 and rallied to make the playoffs, and then gives a list. Playoffs, in my best Jim Morrow voice, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, come on, Jeff. Team's not going to the playoffs. Come on, stop. Just
they
stop.
Should fire everyone. Frankly, the fan base would be pissed off if they made the playoffs as the 7 seed.
This is what happens when a reporter becomes a columnist and he becomes friends with everyone that he covers, is that he can't be honest. He's friends with these people. He socializes with them. They probably go to the same parties. I mean that sincerely. I'm not making fun.
No, I think he literally lives in the Garden District close to the coaches and stuff. Yeah.
And he's friends with them, and he can't do it. It's why you you shouldn't stay on the same beat longer than about 10 years.
I was like, oh. So anyway,
they're awful.
He sucks. Like, he's so bad. Huh? I don't know him. I have no interest in it. I think he's a Louisville fan too.
He is. So there you go.
There you go. All right.
And I know Jeff. I when I was in Mobile, covered the Saints, was around Jeff a good bit. Nice person.
Football or basketball?
It's up to you. I'm good either way. More people probably want us to talk football.
Okay. Lane Kiffin spoke last night.
You and I are probably the two that would prefer to talk basketball. But
I'll be honest, I would rather talk basketball right now, but it's fine. We'll talk football first. So Lane Kiffin spoke in his normal audio-only Zoom session on Sunday night, and felt like it was fairly repetitive following the post-game press conference on Saturday. There was a lot of new information. You still got whatever this is with the Pettis thing, I guess, is the one fan base news situation that seems to be continuing to come out of this, as he did come back and say injury basis for whatever happened or did not happen with Pettis. But Lane himself's comments have opened up the Nolan and the Pettis situations to public domain to discuss at this point, because he's the one that keeps alluding to it being weirder than simply a guy was hurt and didn't play, right? Or at least leaving the door open for that interpretation.
Yeah,
I guess I should say.
Yeah, in both cases, Look, he's doing this deal. It's going to be hard not to conflate the two. He's doing this deal where he doesn't talk about injuries, and yet people ask about injuries, and we're going to ask about injuries, and he's going to get asked about Nolan today. He's probably going to get asked about Pettis today because and it's not like people are trying to do a gotcha thing. It's like, well, what is it? The fans want to know. Because what Lane said was that he found out
10 minutes.
And I think everyone's being truthful here, okay? I think there's a detail that's being either intentionally or unintentionally left out. I think Lane found out before the game that Micah wasn't playing, that he had taken himself out of the game. So that led to someone asking a question about it was to Jackson Dart, about when did you know that, Bulow was going to go? How do you think he did? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, he worked there all week, which is exactly what happened. Micah got demoted last week.
Correct.
That was not made public record. We'd sort of heard it. Didn't really have any way to check it out. Probably could have written some sort of a rumory thing that everybody goes, man, I'd love that. Yeah, until you're wrong. And then you get crucified for writing something that was wrong when you're writing rumors. Does that make sense?
No, yeah.
And so, I get why fans are like, that's what we pay for. And it's like, well, yeah, yes and no. More no. You don't really pay for rumors because rumors aren't always accurate at all. Like there was a pretty prominent basketball rumor last week that turned out to be
100% false.
Turned out to completely be wrong.
Yeah. Watched him play yesterday.
Yeah.
Looked fine.
Yeah. Thank God I didn't even hint at it. It's because you don't know. So anyway, I think Micah was demoted, promoted Bulow. I've heard some details. I don't know whether they're true or not. So let's just go there. And he elected not to play. Now, that being said, he is nursing a knee injury.
He's been hurt most of the season.
And I can almost hear people go, well, all offensive linemen are hurt. I get it. I'm not arguing that.
And I think he has a shoulder thing too, honestly.
Could be.
I feel like I've heard that.
But it doesn't change the fact that right now he's got a knee issue that is painful. So, multiple things can sort of be true at once.
I was not on the injury report all week.
All week.
Whatever you want to make. Again, the injury reports and Lane and I don't know.
And Lane makes such a circus show out of the injury reports that I've gotten where I'm like, I don't even look at them, Chase.
But the only people
they come out on Wednesday and I don't even look.
On the final Saturday injury report, Matt Jones was out, Cedric Beavers was out, Diggs was out, Jaden Williams was out, and Trey Harris was a game time decision. That was the injury report for Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm not even going there. Yeah, he wasn't on it.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm sure he wasn't happy to be demoted. Most people aren't. I don't know. Where does it go from here? I don't know. Micah and Lane have had an interesting relationship for 3 years now. I mean, the reason that Mason Brooks didn't play the year that he was transferred to Ole Miss, picking Ole Miss over 30 schools, I feel like Mason's okay with me saying this, is because Micah threatened to leave. Lane didn't want Micah to leave, and so he played him, even at times when he wasn't particularly ready to play.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was one of the reasons that it was such a difficult year for Mason, because I think at the end of the year he looked up and was like, I could have gone to a lot of places. And the irony of irony for him was that he looked across the sideline in that last game, and it's Texas Tech, and the guy that he played for at Western Kentucky was the offensive line coach at Texas Tech, and he would have played at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
So he would have had a much better final season from an experience standpoint, from a NFL standpoint, and all that than he did at Ole Miss. He handled that a lot better than a lot of people would have. And so, Pettis is got a temper on him. He is a good player. I think a lot of people think he should move to guard. Maybe Ole Miss thinks he should move to guard. I don't know. They don't share these things with us. But in this case, they were kind of cryptic about it. Now, Nolan's thing, he got hurt late in the second quarter. I wrote down 5 seconds, but it might have been 15 seconds. I don't remember. I had
Either way,
in my notes. It doesn't matter. Late second quarter. He had to get help. He had to be assisted off the field. He clearly was in discomfort. And when he came out for the second half, he wasn't carrying his helmet. Usually that means you're not playing. If you don't have your helmet, you're not going to play. And a lot of times they won't give an injured guy his helmet. That way he can't slip in and play.
Mm-hmm.
Because these are usually competitive people who want to play. Now, Lane said it was his understanding he was coming back in, and Walter decided not to play. I can't tell you that's wrong.
Or that Walter didn't feel like he was too banged up to be effective.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And he looked pretty damn gingerly coming off the field.
He did. You know, and
that didn't look fake injury. That looked hurt.
And why, I don't know why Lane was frustrated about it. They didn't need Walter Nolan in the second half. They dominated the second half of the game defensively. They sacked the Jackson Arnold like 17 times.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, they dominated the second half of the game.
Per Oklahoma stats, they have 10 sacks. Ole Miss has 9. 10 would be a program record for the most that Oklahoma's ever been sacked in a game.
Correct. 2 weeks in a row they gave up 9.
Okay. There you go. Not good.
No, not a good sign for the Oklahoma offensive front. I don't know. I don't know what all of it means. I don't know what all of it means. I know this. There is a this collective angst out there. I'm going to play the role of therapist here. If you win this week, you get a shot at Georgia. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, and most don't, it is what it is. You'll look back on the Kentucky game and go, well, we probably shouldn't have lost that game. And guess what? You shouldn't have. And if you go to Arkansas this week and you don't win, I know this part's hard because everybody wants to autopsy the hell out of something. If you lose to Kentucky and Arkansas in the same season, you were not a title contender. You just weren't. For whatever reason or reasons, you just didn't have enough. It just didn't work, and you weren't a contender, no matter all the hype. And I think that's part of the deal. And I wrote this the other day, and I'm starting to think, the more I think about it, the more I think I'm right. All the hype, months and months of hype, forget the collective and all that stuff, the hype had people viewing this team through a prism that it is possible they shouldn't be viewed through. It's not an excuse. It just is what it is. It's possible. Now, I'm not saying likely, but I'm not willing to say unlikely either. I've watched 4 conference games now. Forget the non-con. They played nobody. They've played 4 conference games now, and in those games, other than a first quarter at LSU, probably a first quarter against South Carolina, and a third quarter against Oklahoma, they've just been a good team.
Yeah, been good. Fine.
They've been a good team. Fine. They're good. Upper half of the SEC.
You guys are funny in the stream today.
You know, my therapist was kind of harsh with me at times. So
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I needed that.
Tough love.
Yeah, just be honest about things. You know what I mean, though? I mean,
I get it.
I know.
I
Let me be on the record. I think,
and it's more painful for everybody, I'm sure, out there because Kentucky is nowhere even near the same team they were because they almost beat Georgia too, and then now they look like raw hell.
They look
suck.
awful. They suck. They're horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
the loss gets worse and worse every week.
There is a really real chance they're going to go Ole Miss and 7 in the SEC.
Oh, I think it's likely.
Yeah, like Matt Jones is getting his shovel ready. As I see KSR occasionally, and
I ranked them 15th in the league, and yesterday, and when I thought about it, I was like, I don't know that they beat State because I don't know that Kentucky's good enough to run the ball on anyone, and you beat State by just lining up and running the ball.
Yeah, and I mean, Ole Miss has got to deal with that in a few weeks. I mean, Ole Miss is going to beat State. Stop. That's not what I'm saying.
Let me finish my sentence.
Yeah.
I think Ole Miss is going to beat Arkansas. Okay, I think they're going to win by 14-ish points. But if they don't and they lose, it's not the WAOM thing. It's not some curse of Fayetteville. It's none of that. Nope. It's just you're not as good as you thought you were.
No, there was a really interesting post on the board the other day of, I know Ole Miss has not won in Fayetteville since 2010. I mean, 2008. I get it. They've won in Little Rock twice since then. And when you look at Ole Miss's records in those games, the only two where Ole Miss had a really good record and was a clearly better team that also was just a good team that couldn't suck on a day was 2014, and they lost their starting quarterback. Bo got hurt, and it was the game after 2 games after Treadwell, and it was a mess. A lot of reasons for that.
And it rained.
And in 22, there was a lot of shit going on.
In the pregame in 2014, I wished I'd had a bookie on speed dial.
Yeah.
Because 45 minutes before that game, it was pretty obvious that what was coming. What I remember about it was 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Or was that back in the 11-20 days?
Either way. Yes, it was a morning game.
It was a morning game, and it was wet and raining, and Ole Miss was out there in warm-ups looking like, why are we here? And Arkansas took the field, and it was like little kids getting to go play in the puddles. They were so excited. I was like, this is going to be an ass-kicking.
Yeah.
And someone looked at me and went, what? I mean, I'm just telling you, body language. I remember thinking, is there a bookie anywhere? Because I was going to get points.
Yeah.
And what was that, 30-0?
30-0. But see, guys, 4th and 25 was in Oxford, so that doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Like, it just
none of that shit matters. But
the truth is that if you don't win the game, it's because you didn't run the football at all. Because they can't run the freaking football. Even on Saturday, they didn't run the freaking football. They averaged fewer than 3 yards a carry. I mean,
if you don't win, it's going to be because you're just not good enough up front, and you don't have enough.
And Doris is right.
Superstars around them to overcome that.
They're like tops in the country in the league and in every damn thing, in sacks and tackles for loss, and they're good enough in the front seven defensively to win a ton of football games and keep them in most games. And Amos has turned into a damn good number 1 corner. The stats analytically say he's been very, very good.
Yeah.
Oklahoma threw at him 1 time yesterday or Saturday.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But no, yes, your frustration is on the offensive side of the ball because it just looks disjointed. They can't run it. They made what look like poor personnel decisions on bringing in offensive linemen. And if you don't, again, good team, not a bad team, good team.
Yeah.
But if you don't go 10-2 or better with what the expectation was, that is why. Is that.
And that's what led into the other weird comment that he made. And I went back and listened to it yesterday. He was done with the answer, and then he volunteered that comment.
Yeah, he really needs today to clarify that because if he want to go, hey, I was making a joke and it came off wrong, okay.
I'd buy that.
We'll all move on.
And I think that might be the explanation because he had a little smile on his face.
Yeah, he was kind of kidding.
And then he said it, but the way he said it, it had some edge to it.
Were you kidding and it came off wrong, or were you kidding where there was some kernels of truth going through your mind?
That. It was that.
Those are two different things.
No, it wasn't pure kidding because it had too much edge to it.
And by the way, it was not planted. There's no way in hell it was planted, by the way.
Well, no, because if it was planted, he didn't answer it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He was at first taken back by
I just
the
saw
question.
somebody ask that. I'm like, no, that was not that way with her. No way.
No. And she just was like, you're bowl eligible.
It was the throwaway TV quote of, hey, first goal down, rah team.
100%.
Cool.
And he's like, no, we don't. I didn't know that, which was weird. Like, yeah, you did. You knew you were 6 wins. Then he said, we don't think that way. And I was like, okay. And you're done. And he's like, so I guess we are. And then he paused like someone else was going to ask a question. And the reason there was a pause is because they do questions down low and then questions up top.
And come back
and then
down.
they'll come back down. So we didn't know, are you coming back down? What are we doing? And then there's this pause and he goes, but thanks. Everybody else in this town and media think we have to win the national championship or it's a bad year. And I was like, what?
Yeah, it was really weird.
Literally nobody. I know no one who has.
Even the most ardent supporter didn't say, hey, title or bust. Like,
no, I mean, I know no one in media on any level who has said Ole Miss if they don't win the national championship, it's failure. I know no one. And look, 8,000.
And if you're trying to turn non-playoff into an incredibly successful year, you're moving your own bar.
Yes.
I mean, in 2020, he said, hey, we're not here for moral victories against Alabama.
Yeah.
Because they played the hell out of the Tide in 2020.
To his credit.
Yeah.
And look, they've won 17 of their last 21 games.
Yeah, they are 17-4.
I mean, it's a very successful program. The goal is the playoffs. But they were asked that repeatedly during the preseason, and nobody ever batted an eye. came back to go to the playoffs. Last dance.
Yeah, I don't think it's an overly deep thing, but I think it's interesting because you want to know what's going through his head, the why. There's a reason behind it. So what is it? Again, maybe he just made a joke, frustrated. Okay.
I think there's a lot.
There's humans.
I think there's a lot. I think what you see is that and look, this applies in every locker room. I think maybe there's one or two out there that don't have an issue, but every Power 4 locker room probably has some issues. I think this one does. You have some players that are unhappy. You have players that, they came to play and they're not playing, and they could have gone other places, and they feel like if they'd gone those places, they'd be playing. You have those things. Everybody's got parents. Everybody's got former coaches or handlers or whatever that's around them. And some of these guys have agents, and many of the agents are horrible. And so you just have a lot going on.
Yeah. One more comment on that, and then Stacy, thanks for super chat. I'm gonna get to that here in a second as well, but I want to actually have these thoughts all the way without a break in the middle. So we'll come back real quick in a minute. First, podcast brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. A lot of you guys showed up for the men's basketball game yesterday, benefiting CASA of North Mississippi. We'll get into basketball here in a little while, but and other ticket stuff going on. Baseball renewals are still underway. That's through October 31st. Also, you can open the new softball stadium this season with season tickets ranging from $100 to $150. So for all those different things, you go to OleMissSports.com or 662-915-7159 to lock in your seats.
We're also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, those areas, call Southern 662-429-4429. I've got a column up from Saturday. It's brought to you by Window Hero. From Window Hero to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. Well, if you've noticed, the leaves are falling. They're everywhere. They're in everything. They're probably in your gutters as well. Now would be a really good time to holler at Window Hero. Get them to come out, clean those gutters out, put some guards on, prevent that problem from becoming a real problem when the rainy season comes and your gutters are completely clogged, and you'll wish that they weren't. So they've got locations all throughout North Mississippi, including in Oxford. Give Roby and Susan Allen a call, 662-510-7077, to get an estimate or learn more at windowhero.com. Also have a notebook up from Saturday that's brought to you by Dead Soxy. Take advantage of Dead Soxy's fall sale. Get 25% off everything on the site, including the Ole Miss NIL socks and more, with the code Rebel Grove. The best socks you'll put on your feet. DeadSoxy.com, promo code Rebel Grove for 25% off. I'll have a story, a notebook from this afternoon that'll be brought to you by Southern Q Sauce Craft Barbecue Sauce. We got Southern Q Sauce is crafted by hand in small batches to capture that tangy, sweet, smoky taste with just enough heat. They got the original recipe. They've got the spicy recipe. They also have a multitude of rubs, Old Smoky, Honey Pecan, the Clucker, the Longhorn, and more. It's southernqsauce.com, promo code Rebel Grove for 15% off your order. You can also get Q Sauce at Oxford Meat Market Company, Finchers in Greenwood, Martin's Market in Flora, and the Gift and Art Shop in Clarksdale. I'll have an MPW Digital Extra for you on Thursday. Already working on it today. Should be a really interesting one. It's going to be a little different. It's brought to you by Rustic Revivals. Based out of Flowood, Mississippi, Rustic Revivals builds tables and other furniture by hand with locally sourced lumber. The husband and wife team of Josh and Ashley Pierce specialize in custom-ordered tables, beds, dressers, coffee tables, bookshelves, decorative cabinets, chairs, and more. They have a limited selection of ready-for-pickup pieces available in the shop. They'll deliver within 250 miles of Flowood. Podcast listeners can get 20% off their purchase by using the code REBELS20, REBELS20. Also go to rusticrevivalsms.com. Use that code. You can go to facebook.com/rusticrevivalsms, or you can check them out on Instagram at Rustic Revivals. You can also call them directly at 228-217-1243. My 10 weekend thoughts are up at rebelgrove.com. They're brought to you by Andrew Seago with Seago Wealth Management. Are you retiring soon? How long should you take to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Seago Wealth Management is helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Stress out about the Rebels, but not your money at rebelsretire.com.
Podcast brought to you by the Citizens Bank, where you're not just an account number, but a valued member of the community. Now, if you find yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try, Whit Wilson, but if you know in the mortgage space, now with the Citizens Bank and ready to help you with your real estate goals, stop by and visit 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E in Oxford to discuss your options with Whit or any of the experienced bankers. And while you're there, check out the School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com. Yeah, I mean, look, some of it is probably, no matter what happens, trying to keep some following season momentum going. I mean, you're talking about Grove Collective and needing donors to lock in. If you're Lane, you're the program. They obviously had some people stop after each loss. The way it works, again, they stopped rebelgrove.com too, so they're definitely going to stop the Grove Collective.
I haven't looked since.
You can't do anything about it.
Nope, out of my
control. You have no impact on that, really. So.
I have people that you should email every person who cancels and ask them to come back. And I'm like, no, why?
You should. It would help. But they'd come. Someone would come back.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah. You should call them.
Yeah.
You should call them.
I should.
Yeah. Be like an election vote person, like the Quinnipiac. Hey, can you just answer a few quick questions about your experience?
Yeah.
Let me know what you don't like. I'll make notes. Get on that. Stacy, thanks for Super Chat, says if Joe Judge went too many cooks in the kitchen, he and Lane sure seem to disagree in real time on the sidelines. They are animated, but
yeah, I don't. Sometimes I don't know that they're disagreeing.
They're just talking, and it's
loud.
We're not John Boy.
No, yeah, you're see different things.
No, I've heard no. I mean, we hear a lot. I've heard nothing about that issue with Analyst and Lane or that being a problem. No. I don't think that's a strong personality situation.
In fact, I've heard that there's pretty good synergy on the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's ever been a lack of effort. That's why I come back to this. This isn't a team that doesn't play hard. It's not a team that doesn't try. I mean, do you watch other teams play with an objective eye at all? Because if you do, you see it. It's in front of you. You know what it is. A&M kicked LSU's ass in the second half because A&M is really good on the lines of scrimmage. It's almost like they recruited a bunch of really good players over the last few years, and now they don't have the coaching distraction, and they're running an offense that kind of makes some sense. They have two quarterbacks. They made a change when they needed to. They make things work.
Elko shot at Jimbo, shot at Kelly, just sort of talking into the ether.
Both.
Okay.
A dumb thing to do.
Just coach football.
Just coach your team, man. You've positioned your team to make the playoffs. You've put yourself in a position where today you're the leading candidate for SEC Coach of the Year. You're in the mix for National Coach of the Year if Indiana will lose a couple of games. Otherwise, that bitch is going to Signetti. I mean, holy shit. I mean,
well, yeah.
Wow. But yeah, no, I mean, whatever.
Kevin Costner was in town with this kid doing a college visit. That is why Kevin Costner was in town.
Yeah.
He seemed to be very amenable to pictures and hanging out, and it looks like, as Oxford typically does, they left him alone when he was out public.
He's not filming for love of the game, too.
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Unfortunate.
I mean,
because Kelly Preston's no longer with us, right? I didn't say a word.
Oh, my God.
I didn't say anything. That's why they can't do it. It's such a fine performance.
Oh, you're still just on you, which is fine.
Oh.
It's fine.
See, I forget. I should stop hitting buttons.
Well, you don't do them at the first of the show, but then by God, later on, we just start hitting them all the time. So it's whatever. Yes, you can make for love of the game too. Now Kelly Preston is dearly departed, per Neal McCready.
He'd have to have a new love interest.
Hate that.
Yeah, it'd suck.
I think he's the owner of a team now, GM. We could combine draft day and for love of the game into one entity.
He could be the owner, dealing with a younger guy now that's also back in the same boat.
I got that a lot from younger people. Avery says, my teenager didn't know who he is. Yeah, there's a lot of people. I think if you're much younger than me, even, you're not completely engaged in Costner.
I mean, Crash Davis.
Yes, draft day 2. Sonny ruins the Saints. Wouldn't take much. We're already $81 million under the cap. Or whatever the hell it is. Almost favored by 6.5 on Saturday.
I thought it would be more than that. It started out more than that.
9.5.
And when it came out at 9.5, I was like, there you go. I nailed it.
And then immediately.
I don't get it.
Okay. Ben says his college freshman didn't know who he was.
Oh, wow. Dances with Wolves. You know, I used to think Dances with Wolves was a long movie. And then I started covering modern college football, and I'm like, nah, it was okay.
There's more action all the time.
There's more action, and it goes by faster. You're out in 3 hours.
You are. I got lines to get to first, then you can.
Okay. I'll save it.
It's fine.
No, I'm good. Ridiculous, though.
Jeffrey
Chase, they had one play. They had one series. Oklahoma went 3 and out. Punted the football. Nice punt, by the way. Both punters punted well Saturday. Fraser Masson had a great punt.
He had a great day. He had a very underrated day. We didn't talk about it enough.
I wrote it down to make a notebook.
He averaged like 50-something yards a punt.
I was going to write about it in my notebook, and then Lane did weird stuff, and I was like, oh, I need to write about the weird stuff. Anyway, punted. So we had a TV timeout, 3 plays and a punt, another TV timeout. It was in the first quarter. You'd gotten up to go somewhere, I guess to get something to drink or get a coffee or something.
I was talking in the back, and I didn't really miss anything. I ran into somebody, and I was talking for a minute. Yeah, that's right.
I was like, this is insane. And everybody just looks at me like, why am I the only person that's bothered by that? 3 plays and a punt, and we had another.
You're bothered by the fans coming to town. I mean, for the fans coming to the game, spending all the money, time, and everything else.
I'm fine. It's fine.
You have a computer in front of you.
Yeah, I was watching another game in front of me. I'm fine. Reading a thing about the Thunder that someone had written. I was good. Setting up my content for the day.
Thunder still undefeated?
Yeah.
They got past the Hawks.
Yeah, Hawks gave them a good half, but then that was that.
Over under 60 wins. 63 wins.
Over 63?
Yeah.
I'll go under. 60? I might go.
Well, you're giddy. I mean, I'm just curious.
I might go over on 60.
Okay. I don't think Duke can challenge Miami on Saturday. Duke did challenge SMU, though. They had a 2-point conversion to beat the Mustangs. Didn't get it. SMU wins by 1 point against the Blue Devils on Saturday.
God, Duke's done a really good job.
He has. SMU still undefeated in ACC play. And they don't play Clemson or Miami.
Wonder what Lashley will do. Think he stays or takes a gig?
I think he stays another year. I think kind of curious to see what that can be.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer, but I would, I think that's kind of where it is. Memphis kind of shrugged off what would have been a disastrous loss just in all ways. Charlotte basically almost had them beat on Saturday. Memphis did pull it out against the 49ers.
Memphis was kind of playoffs or bust.
Yeah.
And now that bust is here, you don't play as much.
It's lagging. Ohio State overcame Nebraska late with Quinshon Judkins catching the game-winning touchdown pass for the Buckeyes. That's true, yes. And Dante Dowdell had a heck of a game for Nebraska, scored the go-ahead touchdown for the Cornhuskers from Picayune prior to why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just thinking thoughts to myself.
I'm localizing. That's what you learn in journalism school. I'm localizing the game. That's what I'm doing. Ohio State
in
minus
hindsight,
4
Ole Miss
at
probably,
Penn State on Saturday.
Ole Miss probably could have used Dante Dowdell.
Yeah. Is Aller hurt?
I think so.
Okay. Ohio State minus 4. It can't be that hurt if Penn State's only a 4-point underdog. Because the backup quarterback in Ohio State's favored by more than 4.
Yeah.
Even in Happy Valley. Game day and big noon kickoff both in Happy Valley on Saturday.
Where else would they go?
Well, I know, but logistically it's
Yeah.
weird. They're like a gate over, and then ESPN's moving inside the stadium for the last 30 minutes or something. They're having to combine areas.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a logistical dance on Saturday.
I wonder if that's going to be like a scene from Anchorman.
I was reading about it this morning. Like they might have a feud, if you will.
Because there's some bad blood, right?
Is there animus?
I would think.
Between those two?
Right? Surely.
So, yes. I do think if Ole Miss wins this week, they'll get game day next week.
That's the rumor.
Yes. I think that is true. I think LSU Alabama is the other game, but both have 2 losses now. It's kind of, a little less. Especially after LSU lost A&M the way they did the other day. Vanderbilt getting 6.5 in Auburn on Saturday.
I mean, I saw basically the fourth quarter. Vanderbilt played really hard. I think it's possible Texas is not very good.
You voted them second in your
I know
SEC rankings.
But I said I'm kind of giving benefit of the doubt here.
Oh, I got something on that in a minute. Remind me.
Because they're going to play the games. Like we're going to find out. But if you had to pick today, Texas A&M or Texas.
But is this baiting us? Because why are they giving us 6.5 points? Auburn's, they don't blow people out. Kentucky sucks.
They're bad. Kentucky's bad. Like, I'm sorry.
Real quick, I never do this. I'm going to take up for Michael Casagrande for a second. Didn't see that coming on your bingo card this morning, did you? I was looking on Twitter on Saturday.
I need a whole new card.
Yeah, I was looking on Twitter Saturday, and Auburn fans, you guys are very, very, Brian, I know you're here. You can probably cope with this. Like, you guys are more high-strung than you should be given your current state. Yes. Because what's the expectation?
Delusions of grandeur.
Well, so Auburn screws up. Are you watching it all, this game?
So the Thunder game ended, and LSU A&M was a blowout, and I turned TV to Auburn, Kentucky, but I think I was beginning to fall asleep.
Okay. Well,
it was quite
freeze.
Boring. They need to do something with the lights.
They can add a field goal, add 3 points, and they botch it. And they had to, they let the thing run out, then whatever. Well, they had 14 players on the field for a field goal. 14.
It happens.
They had a guy in between the center and the holder, like a relay man for the holder. It was whatever.
Hugh had a stomach ache.
Well, again, they messed up. They didn't do whatever, didn't get it off. And he just pointed out, hey, that was kind of weird or whatever. He gets flogged on Twitter by a bunch of Auburn fans for going, well, they didn't snap it, so they didn't get the penalty. And it's like, that wasn't the point. It was that you had to.
You can't criticize Auburn.
Like, what? Literally, we're defending the thing because, well, it didn't happen.
War Eagle.
I mean, they were making all these weird straw man arguments with other situations, and it was like, what bizarro world are we in right now?
I know. Rah, 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 sis, boom, bah.
And he's probably seen as an Alabama homer in that state.
He is, yes.
Because he is an Alabama homer in that state.
I mean.
It lasted like 90 seconds. Sorry. Couldn't. I tried.
Hey, Michael, he was nice for a minute.
I tried.
He was nicer than I'm going to be. Michael hates me.
You?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
My political takes.
Oh, he's a columnist now.
Is he?
I think so.
Great. Congrats.
Yeah. See, Grind, it's not criticism, it's Michael. So there you go.
Hopefully he got a raise, maybe. Because I'm sure he'll love paying the new taxes.
Tulsa, UAB, Oklahoma plays Maine, so they'll get a win this week.
31 points.
Their crowd will not be a happy camper on Saturday.
They brought a lot of people here, though. I'll tell you that. Traveled well, and they were nice. The Oklahoma people that I encountered entering the stadium were very nice.
Oh yeah, good. They seem to be, relative to the league, a very calm fan base.
I was able to talk Thunder with some Oklahoma people, which was nice.
Yeah.
Talk some Thunder.
Okay. You had a
The people that I talked to, I think, were impressed with my depth of knowledge of Thunder.
They went into your wheelhouse a little bit there.
Straight in.
Georgia giving 16.5 to the Gators for the formerly known cocktail party, even though we don't call it that anymore.
I still do.
Okay.
It's a weird game. I'm not a big Jacksonville fan, so it doesn't do anything for me. I used to hate covering this
2:30.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Has to be.
This is Cotton Bowlish.
Because it's 3:30 there.
Yeah. Need to get it over with.
It's going to be dark at the end, and you got to get everybody out of there. It's just a big parking lot. It's not even a thing.
It's a very overrated rivalry game.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good for a while, so it's a fun game. But the actual event,
the half and half, and they're supposed to hate each other, and blah blah blah.
It doesn't have the same feel as the Red River rivalry.
Not even a little.
It's like
or LSU,
Dr. Thunder, or something.
LSU, Alabama, or
I'm thinking neutral site. Opportunities.
I'm just
thinking
rivalries. Doesn't even register.
Yeah, it was that part that was whatever. I think Florida might cover though. Georgia gonna be a little sleepy. They got Ole Miss and Tennessee the next couple of weeks. Florida has a little bit of a pulse right now.
They do.
You can't get everybody up 3 times in a row.
No,
you got to pick and choose.
This feels like a game Kirby will just try to get. He's going to save the fire for something else.
We're disrespected. Yeah, just go win the game.
Yeah.
Rivalry game, guys. Get up. Go Dogs. Damn good dog. I mean, Lagway is Lagway, but we'll see what happens. Mississippi State's going to get their second win of the season. They are 17.5-point favorites over the UMass Minutemen in Starkville on Saturday. Props to everybody that took the Razorbacks because
it was kind of
State.
It was a trap.
State was covering against really good teams, but not staying within 2 touchdowns of anyone. So it was a little misleading.
I had that on my computer because I knew I expected a closer game, and I thought we'd be talking about it. That was an absolute ass kicking.
They sucked defensively.
Jesus. I mean, Arkansas I don't know what Arkansas's final statistics was running the ball, but guess like 900 yards. They
had almost 700 yards of offense.
Every time I looked up, somebody was running 20 yards.
Can Clemson get a scare from Louisville on Saturday? The Cardinals are in Death Valley. 10.5 is your line on this one?
Nah.
I don't think so either. South Owl ruined your Warhawks on Saturday.
It was close for a long time, and then
ULM was winning when I looked, and then I went back, and they were not winning anymore.
Obviously, South Alabama cheated, so
clearly
referees can't get a call. I mean, they held on every play.
SC is giving 2.5 at Washington. Speaking of Indiana earlier, Indiana knocked off Washington this past week. Still undefeated for Cignetti and the Hoosiers. Wisconsin, Iowa. I mean, talk about a Big Ten battle this week. Oh, boy. I mean, that's just right into the veins.
13-10, just slug it out.
Iowa giving 3.5.
Hell yeah, let's go.
It feels like an over-under, not a line. But
what time's that game? Early, probably.
6:30.
Oh, is it?
A night game for Wisconsin and Iowa?
Your boy might get back to the hotel in time to watch.
I bet those fan bases are pissed.
I wonder where in Northwest Arkansas I can find Iowa, Wisconsin.
I mean, it's on national television, I guess.
Is it?
You don't think bars are going to give that a lot of TVs?
Well, they might.
Kentucky, Tennessee. Good luck, Cats. Tennessee coming off their bye week.
Yuck.
Tennessee minus 15.5 in Knoxville against Kentucky.
Gross.
It's fair.
Like, literally, on a scale of 1 to 10 on watchability, that's a 1. At least Iowa, Wisconsin, you sort of can laugh at it, right? Kentucky, Tennessee's not even funny.
Here's a sneaky night game. That's good. Not even really that sneaky. Hello, no, it's good. 2 good teams. Pittsburgh at SMU on Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's a good game.
It's a good game.
Good uniform game.
SMU giving Pitt 7.5.
Ooh,
at Gerald Ford Stadium.
That's not a bad
Not the
game.
president. The oil tycoon, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the Thunder play Saturday night. I think they play Friday, Sunday.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
We don't have late games on Saturday. Latest game, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do the Fayetteville thing. I think I'm going to get up Springdale, Rogers, and find a place where I can watch a couple of games and just chill. My last foray into the Fayetteville party scene was enough for a while.
It was that bad?
It was fun. It was just
No, I mean, but
there was just a lot
the
going on.
aftermath.
There was a lot. Yeah, yeah, there was a lot.
Okay.
I mean, Carson was in there with the fake ID. Just there was a lot going on. There's just a lot happening. I don't want to get him in trouble. They open their season tonight. Hunter, if you're listening, stop.
No.
Just go away. Go teach something.
You can't get. It wasn't on school property.
Wasn't.
Okay. All right. I may have questions. I'm coming back in a second. First, you've had Wendy's nugs dipped in sauce. But if you had them covered in sauce, new saucy nugs, take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose between flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, or if you're a real heat seeker, spicy ghost pepper. Only at Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some extra napkins, and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before for a whole new way to nug. It's got to be Wendy's at participating U.S. Wendy's.
G-Man's asking, are there good eats in Hogville? He refers to it. Yeah, they got a lot of good restaurants. Whatever you're looking for, they pretty much have it. It's a pretty big area. Springdale, Rogers, Bentonville, all that. So yeah, you can pretty much find what you're looking for. We're brought to you by Grenada Home Center. We got paints by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, Farrell Calhoun, flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else, window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. You can also call them at 662-226-3127. We're also brought to you by Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's fourth generation jeweler. Arnett's located in the old Lammon's Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue. In Oxford, they offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and pretty much anything else you're looking for as it pertains to jewelry. It's a great time for gifts. Christmas now less than 2 months away. Arnett's wants to be your jeweler. We're brought to you by the College Corner. If you're getting ready for the Georgia game in a couple weeks, coming up for basketball, Ole Miss opens the season a week from tonight at home against Long Island. Then they've got a home game on Friday against Grambling the night before the Georgia football game. So if you're coming up, getting your gear, highly recommend the College Corner. It's right off of Sisk Avenue in the Oxford Commons, more than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear. Plenty of parking available. Their staff's going to have you in and out, ready for the pavilion, the Grove, the Vault, whatever the case may be, in no time. They also have 2 locations in the Jackson area, and you can check them out online at collegecornerstore.com. We're brought to you by Argent Wealth, formerly Pinnacle Wealth. Argent Wealth is based in Ridgeland, Mississippi. They've got clients in more than 20 states. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Argent, investing is treated like a commodity. Decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Argent will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan. It's myargentwealth.com. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. John traveled the globe for more than 37 years before even getting into the travel business. He knows the extra attention that's needed to make a special trip, one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. Get in touch with him at 901-494-3387 or send him an email, j.edwards@regencytravel.net.
Podcast is brought to you by the Men's Clinic that is in Madison and Brandon. You can go to themanthing.com to make an appointment and talk to them about what else is going on with you, with your needs. They want their patients to remain as healthy and as strong as possible throughout the aging process. They do this by optimizing testosterone, improving sleep, reducing inflammation, treating insulin resistance, and facilitating a healthy gut microbiome. Remember, you can make the appointment, and after the first one, they can treat you remotely to some extent. I have started some protocols, some things with them that we'll be talking about as they continue. Start to feel better, start to hopefully improve some different things with me as I'm getting a little older too. So again, you can see that in Madison or Brandon, 2 locations, 601-607-7869 or themanthing.com. I mean, I don't know if women can go to the men's clinic. They do not specialize in women's care, but if anyone wants to go in, I mean, I don't know. Give them a call. Manthing.com. Let's see. I tell you, I do have a curiosity. I want to know where all the Illinois people that came in for the exhibition basketball game yesterday stayed. I guess in Memphis, and then drove down because it's a football weekend.
That's
Quite
my
the
guess.
football game, football weekend. I told Neal as we walked in, I was fairly floored. I got to the game, I don't know, game was at 11, 10:30, something like that yesterday. And I don't think I'm overshooting. Maybe Neal says I'm exaggerating here. I'm going to guess 800 to 1,000 Illinois fans.
No, I think that's fair. It took a lot. They brought a lot
They
of
were
people.
half of the normal courtside pavilion club section
No, they brought
on the left side of the court.
They had a lot of people. They were very nice.
They had a ton of people
Yeah.
for a game that did not count.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I was like, whoa. Because like in my head, I'm going, did they bring buses? Was some alumni thing?
I don't know.
I think they might have just shown up. The rival site covered it for Illinois.
It did. I couldn't believe that. Like, what were the odds I would have driven to Champaign for an exhibition game? Like 0?
They're 0.
The day after?
It never would have even...
Because Illinois played football Saturday, didn't it?
They got crushed by Oregon.
There.
In Autzen.
So he didn't, since that, okay.
So he went to Oxford for a basketball game.
Well, I mean, and frankly, based on what I saw, it probably was a good business decision. There's a lot of interest in it.
A lot of Illinois fans there. They're coming off an Elite Eight berth.
Mhm.
Now they have no starter returning.
No.
They lost a ton from that team.
They're young.
Underwood's in like his 10th season. He's been there for a long time at Illinois. They're young. They're talented. Ole Miss hit like their first 5-6 shots, dominated the game, led by 20 for a good portion of the event. And then they ended up winning by 17, 91-74, the final for Ole Miss. And again, I mean, as I said, I mean, just in every way, because you hit the nail on the head. That game it's not really that game didn't count. It's that it would have been a great game to open the season, to count, to experience in a regular season format, if you will.
Yeah.
But I thought both teams, for the most part, managed it in a regular season mode. Might have had a little different rotation to a touch, but not really. I thought, here's the one takeaway.
Both coaches went a little deeper into their rotation than they would have gone in a real game.
Because Ole Miss had it here a second ago.
Nobody played more than 29 minutes.
Yes, and they had 7 players play at least 12, 6 played at least 20, played at least 19. And then, I'm wrong there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 players played. Yeah, 8 players played at least 12 minutes. And then
Terrence Shannon Jr. is gone.
And the kid from Brazil played 9 minutes. It was a pretty good spark plug there in the second half at times.
I liked him.
Yeah, I did too. I liked him a lot. How do you pronounce it? Klofke?
I think that's right.
Is that correct? Okay. So 91-74, Ole Miss shot the lights out. They were over 50% from 3. They hit 9 of 12 free throws. They shot basically 50% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
Illinois was 42% from the field, something like that. They missed 9 free throws, especially when the game still was sort of in it early. They actually hit a few late to make it better. They were under 50% for a good portion of the day from a free throw standpoint. And look, Ole Miss is not going to shoot it like that every game. They really hit. But I do think they have scores in a lot of ways. I think they are better from a ability to put the ball in the basket. They're not so beholden to 1 or 2 players like they were last year for sure. I mean, you got a team now that Brakefield didn't start. He was off the bench and gave them 15 and 8, something like that.
Played
15
well.
and 7, 15 and 8, something like that.
Yeah, he played well.
Illinois missed some shots. So, I mean, there was lots of reasons why the game went when it did. But if you're an Ole Miss basketball fan, I think for the most part, nothing but positives to take away from that against a team that's going to get better, but a team that does have talent. Now, you got killed on the boards.
Big time.
And that's the one question that I had going into this season is just simply, is the front court enough from that standpoint?
It's a different team than a year ago. I asked Brad, I told you this before we got started. I'm ready to say this publicly. It's not that controversial, but it's my new thought. Why is it basketball coaches are so freaking normal and football coaches are so freaking weird? Basketball coaches are so normal. Brad Underwood comes in and he goes,
He was grumpy during the game. Basketball coaches crack me up during the game because it's not who they are as people. Like they just are grumpy during games.
But he comes in and he goes, "That was exactly what we needed." He goes, "I would have been shocked with any other outcome."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said, "I've got a young team, and I needed them to be able, and I needed them to listen to me more, and this is going to help
because now they see it.
Got to work on things. Yeah, we're not as good as you think we are.
Mm-hmm.
Look," and he's like, "I wanted to play an older team. Ole Miss is an older team. I wanted to play a more physical team. Ole Miss is a physical team. I got exactly what I thought we'd get." And then he went into a thing, and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, Brad, I know it's exhibition and it's early and it's one game and it's not what you were focused on, but kind of what were your thoughts about Ole Miss and what might their upside be?" And he gives me this very detailed answer, makes normal eye contact like a human being, didn't object to the question in any form, answered it, and then didn't do the, "Oh, they're great, man. They're great. They're flawless." No, he talked about how, they have a couple of guys that can really hurt you with the pick and pop fives. And he goes, "Honestly, it's something we haven't really worked on, switching 1 through 5." And he goes, "We're going to have to go work on that now."
Yeah.
He goes, "We're going to have
because once the 5 could extend, it created some stuff."
And, he talked about that, and he said, they're physical. He goes, "It looks like a Chris Beard team." He goes, "Look at their bodies," and they do. Ole Miss looks the part of a really athletic team. And he talked about Morrell obviously being a very polished player, and he talked about Brakefield giving them some problems, and Padula giving them some problems. And then he said, now, they're going to have some issues at times with bigger teams that they're going to have to work on. He goes, "They probably saw that today, and that's something they're going to go work on." He gave me this normal answer, and then I asked Chris Beard. I said, "Hey, Brad said this about your team. You're having an older team. What can that in today's college basketball? Can that be an advantage?" And he goes, "Yes, it can," because he was waiting for me to say, "Is that an advantage?" And he was going to say, "Well, it can be." But when I said, "Can it?" he goes, "Yes, it can." Can being the key word, and he goes into this whole thing, and I'm like, why is this so complicated? It's just sports. Meanwhile, we got to do the whole thing in football where we speak in code and everything is paranoia, and just it was kind of
because we've let it get so far out ahead of its skis.
Yes,
like in every way, the money, the exposure, the secrecy, the protection, the whole deal. What I like about basketball and baseball is there's so many damn games. Like nothing's the end of the freaking world most of the time. Like you're just sort of hanging out, just kind of chilling. It's all right. It's important, but
none of the angst.
No, I told you.
There's people that are going to go to Fayetteville this weekend, and Friday night they're going to just be their stomachs tied up in knots. I'm like, then why put yourself through that? Just go relax, have a couple of beers, and chill. It's okay.
The worst part of 2024 is there's relief and not excitement when your team wins. It's relief. And I have not been to a college football game as a spectator since 2004. I think that's true. I do not think I've sat in the bleachers at a college football game since 2004. If so, I just don't remember. There was one time at some point. But been to a lot of college basketball games as a spectator. I like them. I go a lot. And it is a really enjoyable product. I thought yesterday was even maybe more enjoyable than some regular season games you go to because the officials weren't overbearing sometimes. And now maybe that was the crew. Maybe that was it being an exhibition game. Maybe that was them being not in midseason form. I don't know why, and it's a one-game sample size. But they didn't call that game overly tight. They kind of let it go yesterday.
Yeah.
They allowed flow. They weren't calling a bunch of damn hand checks and things like that throughout the game.
Yeah.
And there are no 3.5-minute TV timeouts. The TV timeouts just go with the media breaks on whatever the time is that the media breaks exist. We don't force in extra timeouts.
The game is 2 hours, give or take a few minutes.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, game was over around 1 o'clock. Got up, saw Neal on the way out, and I went, that was kind of fun. That was easy.
Yeah.
Easy watch. Like, got half my day left. All cool. Going to make most of the NFL games when I get home in a minute. Like,
I got there.
It was cool.
I got there at 10:30. Worked on 10 thoughts. Watched parts of the game. I wasn't glued to the game. It's an exhibition. I wasn't going to write 7 stories. I'm just, but I was paying attention enough. I looked up here and there and saw some things, and noted some things, and I was working on 10 thoughts. I had a very busy afternoon planned once I got home. We fed the Oxford High School soccer team.
Saw that. Yeah.
So stir fry for 30 boys is a lot of work on the.
Oh, God. How much food did you make?
It was a lot.
Pounds.
A lot.
Did you have enough?
Yes.
You have leftovers?
We threw out a little bit at the end.
That's it?
Yeah. They basically ate it all.
Okay. Did you Blackstone that much?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're running a damn shorter kitchen at that number.
It was a 2 hour. It was a 2 hour process.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good. So I knew that was coming. So I was going to get done. But anyway, the point was I was finished with my basketball story at 2:05.
Yeah.
It was great. As opposed to football where you get to the stadium and you're like, I'm here for a month. The game's going to last forever. The coaches are going to be paranoid. Even after a win, after a loss, they're going to be cryptic. It's like, what are we? It's just, yes. Basketball was actually yesterday was quite refreshing.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point in the stream. It's relief for the teams with big expectations, excitement for the teams like Indiana. Yeah, I mean, as your team gets better, your lack of enjoyment increases too, which is a weird thing when it's a hobby. But it's true.
So weird.
But I mean, different. Nowhere near the same thing. But I mean, you'll experience that to some extent with the Thunder.
Yeah.
2 years ago, it was like whatever, all good. And now you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, the build is fun. The build is more fun than the other part. But at the end of the day, it's like, damn.
I mean, yeah, now, I mean, you could see the kid's a freshman and go, wow, he's going to be awesome as a senior. Kidding. But
yeah, 3 schools later, it's the portal.
That is a lot of stir fry. The more I'm thinking about this, what proteins did you use?
Just chicken.
Just chicken. We didn't overcomplicate this thing in any way.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Just chicken.
And they're fine with that.
I heard no complaints.
Yes.
They ate. We got up Sunday morning and did the rice and let it sit in the fridge.
Yeah, you have to dry it out or whatever.
Yeah, and then 3 big batches. You do the rice for a while, then you put the chicken in, you move the chicken over, then you put the vegetables on, and then you put all that over, and then you scramble the egg, and you put that in. And then you get rid of it, clean it off, and do it again.
All over again.
Yep, start over.
Because, you couldn't get that much on one Blackstone.
No. Got a lot on the Blackstone, but no.
Okay. You didn't try to do it in the kitchen at the same time on the stove or something? And
no. Because I had...
did you buy a veggie blend or did you buy individual veggies and cut them up?
Blend.
Okay. Curious.
Yeah, don't complicate.
Okay.
And if you do it outside, you have 2 4-legged vacuum cleaners in case you have any spills.
They'll take care of everything.
It's all good. Inside, it's a mess.
That's a good point. Stir fry or hibachi? Because this is more hibachi, right?
It was more hibachi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, I guess it was hibachi.
By the way, just real quick back to basketball for a second. The league has represented well in these exhibitions. I mean, again, I don't know what to take from them, but I mean, Arkansas beat the hell out of Kansas. Again, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can tell you what you can take from it. I mean, I'll tell you up front, this league's getting 10 bids.
Illinois had a kid whose brother plays for Arkansas.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I asked my brother, I was like, well, is he better? He goes, well, he plays for Arkansas. I went, yeah, fair enough. Okay.
No, the league's good. Alabama's really good.
Look like they had Look like Illinois had a decent amount of international players. Those did not look like last names from the Midwest.
Yeah.
I know nothing about their roster other than everybody's gone.
It's talented. You could tell they're talented, but you also could tell they were playing together.
They're picked 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten.
No, look, it's
so the top 25% of the Big Ten.
It's probably a really good sign for Ole Miss. The rumor is they basically played Houston to essentially a tie, although you got to be careful with that because it wasn't a game.
Yeah.
It was a scrimmage. And
there's a lot of situational.
And I think Chris and Kelvin Sampson have done that scrimmage a lot. And so they probably know, hey, your team wants to work on this for a minute. My team wants to work on this for a minute. So it's not real. But they were able to stay on the court with them, which is a good thing.
Yeah, Houston's good.
Because Houston's going to be good. I mean, put that in ink. No, it's a good sign. It should be a tournament team, which makes that arena fun. That arena's great when Ole Miss is pretty good.
I thought one of the things, and I know I'm in the minority. A lot of people really like the camera work and some of the pavilion stuff. I thought the atmosphere even was a little better yesterday too, because they didn't go overboard with some of the timeout camera crowd stuff. Like a couple times they just put the logos up there, and I thought it kind of lets everybody take a break without wondering where the hell the camera is and stuff. Like it had a bit of a little bit of a different feel to it.
They didn't do Kiss Cam.
They did do Kiss Cam.
They did do Kiss Cam.
I did see Kiss Cam. Yeah, saw Kiss Cam, saw Flex Cam.
I was working pretty hard during the breaks. I was football. I was
yeah,
trying.
yeah.
I was trying.
Yeah,
to get,
I saw Kiss Cam. I saw Flex Cam. There were some promotions in there. So, but yeah, no, it was a good environment. They open now with the Long Island Sharks. That's who the opener is. It's a step down in class.
The amount of money I'd kill for Long Island to bring a really cool mascot. I would just, I would love it. I'd write so much about the mascot.
Cameras not getting moved. I do not know this. I forgot to ask Keith the other day. I think it is because CGAs are coming. They're expiring at the end of the year. So it was put off a year because you're gonna have to move some seats, and they weren't going to do that in the final year of a CGA because that complicates it with some fans to do that. I think it is happening, but it's delayed 1 year. That is what I believe to be true. Someone told me that. I do not remember who, but it must be somebody I believe enough to repeat it. And it was not. I forgot to ask Keith when I talked to him the other day, though. But I think that is what the case is there. So yes, there will be another year of the cameras facing that direction. So they faced a bunch of Illinois fans on Sunday.
They did.
Illinois helped out the crowd a little bit by wearing a lot of navy because it blended in and looked Ole Miss. I'm just picking out the orange.
Yeah.
That's true. They had some that just had navy on, I saw. Also, they have a really good script. Their Illinois script looks
really
good.
Nice.
I know their block eye is very
iconic.
Yeah, we know it. But their script was not bad.
No, it was good.
Yeah, their pullovers had Illinoisan script on them.
I like their branding and stuff.
Mm-hmm. School you kind of forget about, but it's a good Big Ten basketball school.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Sure.
All right, NE Spark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, Spark offers both residential and business packages, speeds up to 2 gigabits. To learn more, register for service. That's nespark.com. NE Spark. Get connected. Stay local.
Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands, 100% free, nothing to lose, myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or 404-973-9901. I'll have a mailbag to you up on Wednesday. It's brought to you by my friend Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Art was in town over the weekend. He'll be in Fayetteville this weekend too. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. We'll have picks up on Thursday. We all did okay. I think you had a pretty good week, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Brought to you by Kaiser Flooring, locations in Oxford and Batesville. Kaiser provides outstanding quality flooring products and installation services to residential and commercial properties. Kaiser carries the best in hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and tile flooring, as well as carpeting. Their goal is to offer amazing, durable flooring products and superior services to make your life easier. Kaiser installs your flooring quickly and delivers the best flooring experience possible. You can reach them at kaiserflooring.com, or you can call them in Oxford or Batesville. We'll have Pete's Pigskin Preview. I'll tape it tomorrow night with Pete. It's brought to you by Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James. It's a full-service investment team based in Jackson, providing financial planning and investment management to clients across the state and surrounding areas. Ryan Geary and his partners are a local team that utilize the strength and resources of a national firm to bring their clients an impeccable level of service. This includes access to investment strategies and portfolio managers not available to all investors. If you're interested in a no-obligation consultation or you just want to be added to their monthly market update email list, reach out to financial advisor Ryan Geary with Meadowbrook Wealth Advisors of Raymond James at 601-368-2215 or ryan.geary@raymondjames.com. Raymond James & Associates Incorporated, member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
Podcast also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and offer MedSync. Free prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. So whether in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs or Oxford with G&M, that's 662-236-2222. Big day for athletics. You got nearly 20 combined NBA and NHL games. You got Game 3 of the World Series tonight in New York. Dodgers up 2-0. Ohtani's kind of banged up. See what his status is. And then you have Monday Night Football tonight. You have the Giants and the Steelers is your Monday Night Football game.
Okay.
The streaming-only Monday night game last week was the least watched NFL game since 2008, I believe. Well, it was streaming only. It literally was not on. It was ESPN Plus only streaming.
Oh.
So you're getting way bigger numbers on Amazon than you are ESPN
So a bunch of
Plus.
people went to their ESPN account.
There were also 2 games on. So you let somebody watch one on regular TV, not having to go to the other deal. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting all 4 sports right now. Did you see this? Texas football, people pissed it off at the league over Texas. See this? Matt Hayes, I think Matt works for the Sporting News, right? Am I correct on that?
He did for the longest time. I don't know whether he
That's
still
who I
does or
associate him with.
Right.
So I'll just read the thing here. It says, fact Texas football didn't play its first true conference road game until 8 weeks into the season has already rankled some within the league. According to including one AD, who tells USA Today's Matt Hayes that, quote, more than a handful of the conference's ADs are, per Hayes, quote, furious about the Texas schedule and optics it presents. How it looks, take a deep breath, Deep South, like the Longhorns already run the league. I spoke to 3 coaches this week, and each not only confirmed the riff about the laughable schedule given to Texas in its inaugural season, but each also made sure to text Georgia coach Kirby Smart and thank him for making it perfectly clear that Texas may be a member of the conference, but they haven't come close to experiencing the conference. Hayes goes on to point that no other SEC team went further than October 5th without playing a true road game, including Oklahoma, who played its first true SEC game a month before the Longhorns. Furthermore, there was anger regarding who Texas's first road game was, Vanderbilt, which Hayes calls the easiest place to play in the SEC. If you don't believe me, ask Nick Saban. Look, this isn't a raging shoot first, aim second conspiracy. These are facts. And because the SEC decided to stay with its current schedule for the 2025 season, Texas will play the same teams in year 2 with home sites swapped. So, league pissed off at... Sorry, 8 people within the league pissed off at the league regarding Texas, it appears, in year 1. I kind of thought that. I thought that a lot of the schools would be pulling for Kirby and the Bulldogs last week.
I think that's putting it mildly, based on what I've heard.
Yeah.
I think Kirby was quite popular that Saturday night.
Was he? Yeah. Following lit up.
Probably some people who normally don't cheer for the Dogs were cheering for the Dogs. That's my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
There was some angst.
Rice fired his football coach over the weekend in case a tree fell in the woods and nobody noticed that. But just one other thing that is going on here.
You know, Texas hadn't won anything yet. They hadn't won anything yet. Before we
schedule is pretty pillow soft.
Before we
for what it can be.
I'm going to miss this when it's over.
Thanks to Neal still for the scheduling updates here inside the SEC.
I mean, yeah. Right, they're off this week. Florida at home, probably not. At Arkansas, probably not. Kentucky at home, not. At A&M.
So they're in the playoff.
Okay, but here's my problem. Yeah, they'll get in 10-2. But at 10-2, who's their biggest win? Who's their biggest win? Michigan? They suck. Oklahoma sucks. Their biggest win's either going to be Vanderbilt, Florida, or Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, woof.
Yeah. And that's their schedule next year.
Yeah, they got babied.
And Oklahoma got the hammer.
Yeah, man.
Got the hammer.
Oklahoma got Tennessee, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU in year one.
Yeah.
I mean,
come on.
Damn.
Texas does have a very difficult opener next year on the road, non-con. So
who is it?
At Ohio State.
Okay. Go Buckeyes.
Go Buckeyes.
Yeah, I don't like Texas for some reason. I've tried. I gave it a minute.
But you like Ohio State?
No, but I think I've already discovered that I like Texas losing.
You're enjoying Texas losing?
When Texas loses, I think
you're going to be for A&M?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. They're good.
They're good.
They're legitimately good.
They are.
They're legitimately good. And the other day, they did that deal. Hey, let's put Weigman out there. Oh, he doesn't have it today. Let's switch it up. The other kid's not bad, Reed. And by the way, people criticizing Herb Street that he talks about. The kid, he knows the kid personally, played with his sons.
What do you do?
The Marcel Reed played
with Herb Street's kid?
Herb Street's kid.
Okay.
Or kids, I think, plural.
Okay.
And so, of course, that's going to bleed into it. That's fine. They're people. It's sports. It's okay. Kirk likes the kid a lot. It's okay. If I was calling a game and Jeremiah Dudley and Asiel Rodriguez were playing in it,
probably going to go anecdotal at some point.
Two of Carson's teammates who've been at my house, I don't know, 100 times. Yeah, I would probably talk about the fact that I know those kids personally. Probably would.
Arkansas banged up at all last night?
I don't know.
All right. We'll find out Wednesday at 7, I'm sure, guys.
Or I think he's pretty straight with the report.
Mm-hmm.
In fairness to Sam, I think he is honest about it. Jackson didn't play, the running back from Utah. So I'm assuming that they're trying to get him back.
Somebody asked on the stream who Ole Miss started yesterday. Malik Dia, Sean Padula, Jalen Murray, off ball, obviously. Matthew Morrell and Dre Davis were the starters for the Rebels.
Yeah. And he said don't read anything into that. He said right now they basically have 6 starters. And from the looks of it, they have more than that.
He should feel comfortable at 7 or 8, guys.
Yeah. 8 to 9, man.
Yeah. Respect. Like I said, it was late and the game was kind of whatever, and it was an exhibition. But I thought Klofgate gave him something. Gave some energy. Could shoot a little.
Yeah, physically.
And that's like a 9th guy.
Physically, he's okay. I don't think Bowles ready.
No, he looked like the negatives you were getting from Sharp last year. Just kind of stiff and had a hard time moving and needed to put some weight on and just sort of not there yet.
Yeah.
Small sample size, played 8 minutes. But
yeah, really small sample.
Did score 4 points.
But
him standing next to Cam Brent did make me laugh. I enjoyed just the show of him next to Cam Brent on the court.
But like Mikael Brown-Jones plays a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could start.
They played Barnes 21 minutes yesterday.
And I think he's going to play a big role.
Yeah.
I actually think they're about 9 deep.
Yeah.
They have a nice team.
Yeah, 48% from the field, 52.2 from 3, and then 75 from the line.
Probably not going to shoot 52.3% from 3.
If they do, they'll
if they do,
cooking with gas.
Probably a Sweet 16 team, but
yeah,
they're good though. I like they're deeper at guard, which I think at college basketball is important. They're able to get Murray off the ball. He's a much better player off the ball than he is when he has to be on it the entire game. Still had some moments where they're a little small, where I think teams are going to be able to hunt some mismatches, but physical. You can tell that defense has been an emphasis. You can see that. It's visible. So yeah, it's fun. It was fun. I mean, they should be a very relevant team
in a very relevant league.
In a super relevant league with a bunch of good teams. And I mean, I think Ole Miss has a chance to be one of the good teams in a good league. The only team that I'm ready to go, that team's just better than them, is Alabama, and I might be ready to say Alabama's better than everybody.
You think they're the best team in the country?
I'd rank them number one.
Yeah. Ole Miss still has 1 week for the opener. Again, that Long Island game is 7:30 p.m. next Monday night.
And then the Grambling game is next Friday. It's at 6 p.m. It got picked up by TV. So 6 p.m. the night before Georgia.
Night before Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Throwback game the week after that, the Tadpad game. They're honoring the Bob Wetlick era.
On like a Wednesday night.
Tuesday night. 7 o'clock.
Night. 7
at
o'clock.
Tad Smith Coliseum.
Okay.
Yes. So, all right, more tomorrow. Sure, things will happen today. Lane Kiffin will speak around noon with some NFL World Series Game 3 again tonight. Yankees, Dodgers in that one. So plenty of sports going on. Have a good day. RebelGrove.com in the meantime, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.